Have you ever stood in your kitchen making a simple cup of tea or slicing up vegetables and suddenly felt a strange wave of tiredness wash over you? Maybe your head begins to ache slightly, or your heart beats just a little harder. You shrug it off. I'm just getting older, you say. But what if I told you that something else might be at play? Something hiding in plain sight in the very room where you prepare meals and nourish your body? Many seniors don't realize this, but their own kitchens may be silently radiating more than just heat from the stove. And I'm not talking about the kind of radiation you see in movies. I'm talking about low-level electromagnetic radiation, the invisible kind that creeps out of everyday devices, the kind that doesn't scream for attention, but slowly chips away at your energy, your sleep, even your heart rhythm, especially if you're over 60. In the next few minutes, we'll explore 6 common kitchen items that emit this type of radiation. And no, I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to empower you. Because once you understand where these silent signals are coming from, you can take simple, powerful steps to protect your body and feel better. You don't need to throw away your appliances or unplug your whole life. Just make small adjustments that make a big difference. Let's begin with something nearly every home has, and probably something you've used today, the microwave oven. Now don't worry, I'm not about to tell you that microwaves are evil or you should never reheat soup again. But here's what most people don't know: as microwaves age, the rubber seals around the door often start to break down. Cracks form, the latch weakens, and slowly radiation, yes, real electromagnetic waves, starts to leak out. Not a lot at once, not enough to make the lights flicker or burn your hand, but just enough to add to the invisible burden your body's already carrying. Seniors are more vulnerable to this than younger folks. Why? Because your cells regenerate more slowly. Your antioxidant systems don't work as swiftly. So when you stand close to that humming microwave, maybe watching your tea spin around for a full minute, those little waves of radiation are tapping on your nervous system, your heart, your brain. They add up. I remember Diane, a retired librarian from Sacramento. She was full of energy until she started noticing headaches and a foggy feeling in the afternoons. Her doctor couldn't find anything wrong. Then she read about radiation leakage and tested her microwave using a simple trick: put a cell phone inside, close the door, and try to call it. If it rings, radiation is leaking out. Diane's phone lit up immediately. Her microwave was over 10 years old. She replaced it and started standing at least 3 feet away while using it. Within a couple of weeks, her headaches eased up, and she told me, I never realized how sensitive I'd become until I stepped away from the buzz. If you're not sure whether your microwave is still safe, test it today. And even if it passes the test, build the habit of stepping away while it runs. You don't have to hover over it like it's a window to the world. Set a timer, walk away, and come back when it's done. That 30-second distance can reduce your exposure by more than 80%. Now let's talk about another sneaky source: cordless, phone-based stations. Not the handset you carry, but the little base that sits on the counter quietly blinking. Here's the part no one tells you: even when you're not making a call, that base is constantly emitting radiation. It's like a miniature cell tower right in your home. It sends out signals 24/7 whether you're talking or not. And where do most people put it? Right on the kitchen table, or next to the coffee pot, or beside the fruit bowl. That means you're standing next to it every time you pour your tea or chat with a friend while chopping onions. Dorothy, a grandmother from Cleveland, had trouble sleeping for years, tossing, turning, waking up with her heart racing. One day, her daughter suggested moving the phone base out of the kitchen. Dorothy unplugged it and tucked it into a side room. Within a few days, she was sleeping like a rock again. It wasn't magic. It was science: less radiation, less stimulation to her nervous system, more rest. The truth is, we get used to things buzzing around us. But just because something is quiet doesn't mean it's harmless. Cordless phone-based stations emit radiation that can disrupt melatonin production, the hormone that helps you sleep. They can interfere with your heart's natural rhythm, and if you're already dealing with fatigue, high blood pressure, or poor sleep, that tiny blinking box may be part of the problem. Try this simple fix: move the base at least 6 feet away from where you eat, cook, or rest. It doesn't have to be unplugged, just relocated. Put it in the laundry room, a back hallway, or anywhere else that's still within reach but out of your main living space. You'll still get every call, but your body will get a break. And that brings us to another big one: a device that has become so common we forget it's even on the Wi-Fi router. Now I want you to imagine something. Picture a quiet stream flowing through a forest. Peaceful, calm, nourishing. That's what your body's nervous system should feel like. Now imagine someone throwing tiny pebbles into the water constantly, not big enough to cause a splash, but enough to ripple through everything. That's what constant Wi-Fi radiation does to your body, especially if the router is sitting on your kitchen counter. Wi-Fi routers emit radio frequency radiation all day and night, even when you're not browsing the internet. And when they're placed in high-use areas like your kitchen, where you cook, eat, and gather, it creates a non-stop zone of invisible stress for your body. Your digestive system works harder, your heart rate changes, your energy drops. Frank, a retired mechanic from Denver, had his router sitting right above his fridge. His wife, Helen, loved watching cooking shows while making lunch. But over time, they both noticed feeling sluggish and foggy in the afternoons. They moved the router to the basement and instantly noticed more energy. It was like opening a window in a stuffy room, Helen told me. So if your router is in your kitchen, just move it. You don't need to disconnect it. Just relocate it to another part of the house where you don't spend hours every day. You'll still have fast internet, but your body will breathe easier. Let's pause here. These first 3 changes are simple, don't cost much, and could make a massive difference in how you feel, especially as you age. But we're just getting started. Now let's keep going, because the next hidden source of radiation might surprise you. It's something most of us have used for years without a second thought: the electric can opener. You might be thinking, it only runs for a few seconds. How bad could it be? But here's the surprising part: those few seconds of high-powered motor activity generate intense bursts of electromagnetic radiation, right where your hand and forearm are resting. It's like placing your wrist next to a miniature power tool every time you open a can of soup or beans. Seniors often rely on electric can openers because they're quick and easy, especially if arthritis or hand weakness makes manual openers difficult to use. But what many don't realize is that these compact appliances contain motors that send out sharp electromagnetic pulses every time they operate. And over weeks, months, and years, these little pulses add up. Think of your body like a finely tuned musical instrument. Every cell, every nerve, every heartbeat plays its part in keeping you well. Now imagine placing that instrument next to a speaker, blasting random static bursts. It throws everything out of tune. That's what these repeated pulses of radiation can do, especially to hands, arms, and nerves already sensitive from age. I spoke with Linda, a 74-year-old from Portland, who loved making tuna sandwiches. She used her electric can opener every day until she started feeling tingling in her fingers. Her doctor checked for circulation issues and neuropathy, but nothing showed up. She eventually stumbled on an article about electromagnetic fields from small kitchen appliances and decided to make a switch. Just like that, she bought a high-quality manual can opener, ergonomic, easy to grip, and started using it instead. Within 2 weeks, the tingling eased up. "I never thought my can opener could affect my health," she told me, "but now I feel more in control." Manual can openers have come a long way. Newer ones are designed with soft grip handles, smooth turn gears, and non-slip bases. Some even come with side-cutting designs that eliminate sharp edges. And the best part, no electricity, no radiation. Just you, your hand, and a simple mechanical tool that gets the job done without invisible side effects. If you use canned goods regularly, and most of us do consider switching, your body will thank you. Because when you open that can of soup, you should be nourishing yourself, not quietly stressing your nervous system. Now let's move to what may be the biggest shock of all, and it's sitting in almost every single modern kitchen: the smart refrigerator. This is not your old trusty ice box from the 80s. Today's fridges are connected, constantly pinging your home Wi-Fi, sending usage reports to manufacturers, downloading software updates, and staying in communication with other smart devices. In other words, they are never asleep. They're always on, always transmitting, always emitting low-level electromagnetic radiation 24 hours a day. And where do you spend a lot of your time? Right there near the fridge, grabbing milk, chopping vegetables on the counter beside it, chatting with grandkids while prepping dinner. Carl and his wife from Phoenix didn't even know their smart fridge had built-in Wi-Fi until their nephew asked to connect his tablet to it. Turns out the fridge was also communicating with their oven and dishwasher, creating a mesh network of radiation sources right in the kitchen. Carl downloaded an EMF detector app and watched in amazement as the numbers spiked near the refrigerator, even when the door was shut and no one was using it. They disabled the smart features in the settings menu, And guess what? The fridge still kept food cold. The ice maker still worked, but that constant wave of background radiation, gone. Carl and his wife said they felt a surprising boost in afternoon energy and even noticed deeper, more restful sleep at night. Now, if you're shopping for a new appliance, you can choose a non-smart model. They still exist, and they're often more reliable with fewer bugs and fewer things that can go wrong. But if you already have a smart fridge, don't worry, you don't need to replace it. Just turn off the wireless features in the menu. You'll reduce your radiation exposure dramatically without losing any basic function. And here's a bonus: smart fridges aren't just health risks, they're privacy risks too. Most people don't realize these devices collect usage data, send it to companies, and even adjust their transmission frequencies with new updates without your permission. You didn't sign up for that, but your body still absorbs the radiation every time you stand near the fridge. The takeaway here is simple. Your kitchen should be a place of nourishment, not low-level stress. By turning off these unnecessary features, you're choosing simplicity, clarity, and health. Now let's shift to something you might use every day for joy and relaxation. Bluetooth kitchen speakers. Playing music while cooking. Lovely. But most Bluetooth speakers don't just broadcast when the music is on. They emit radiation, constantly searching for connections, transmitting signals even when silent. Many seniors don't realize this, but the 2.4 GHz frequency used by Bluetooth is the same range as Wi-Fi and microwaves. That's right, your music speaker is emitting the same type of electromagnetic radiation as your router, just in shorter bursts. And when you're standing next to it, slicing tomatoes, or enjoying your favorite playlist, those waves are moving right through your body. Martha from Seattle used to play jazz every afternoon while cooking. Her speaker sat right beside her cutting board. But over time, she noticed frequent tension in her chest, not pain, just tightness. Her doctor ruled out heart issues. Then her son suggested trying a wired speaker instead. She did. Not only did the tightness go away, but she also discovered that the sound quality improved. No dropouts, no repairing, just clean, rich music. Bluetooth devices create what's called a personal area network, a mini cloud of radiation around them. And when you have a phone, a smartwatch, and a speaker all connected at once, the radiation density increases significantly. For seniors whose nervous systems are more sensitive, this can contribute to fatigue, brain fog, and even mood changes. Switching to a wired speaker is one of the easiest, lowest cost changes you can make. No charging, no signal interference, and zero radiation. Your music will sound better, and your body will thank you. Let's take a breath here, because what we've talked about so far may already feel like a lot. You might be standing in your kitchen right now looking around at your appliances with new eyes. And that's the point, not to scare, but to awaken. To remind you that awareness is the first step to protection, especially as we age and become more sensitive to the invisible forces that surround us. Now let's talk about the final hidden radiation source in your kitchen, the one many seniors never think twice about because it looks so ordinary. It's your Wi-Fi router, specifically those routers placed in kitchen areas for convenience. Maybe your technician said, put it in the middle of the house for the best coverage. And the kitchen? That's often the heart of the home. But here's the issue: Wi-Fi routers emit radiation 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They don't take breaks. They're always on, sending out signals that bathe your kitchen in electromagnetic energy, even when you're just sipping tea, reading the paper, or preparing dinner for your grandkids. Let's go back to Frank and Helen, a retired couple from Denver. Their internet router sat right above the fridge for 3 years. Helen started complaining about afternoon fatigue. Frank had persistent headaches. They chalked it up to aging, until their niece, a tech-savvy college student, visited and pointed to the router above the fridge. You guys know this thing is beaming signal constantly, right? They were shocked. Frank moved the router to their basement right next to the laundry machines. They used a simple signal extender for upstairs rooms. Within days, Helen said she felt clearer in the head, and Frank's headaches started to fade. What's important to understand is your kitchen is where your body is doing some of its most important work: digesting food, producing energy, balancing blood sugar, absorbing nutrients. That's not the time you want your cells distracted or interfered with by electromagnetic noise. It's like trying to have a quiet conversation in the middle of a rock concert. Radiation from routers interferes with your body's internal communication. your brain, your gut, even your immune system, especially if you're standing or sitting within 3 to 6 feet of it during meals or cooking. Now, some people might say, but I need the internet in the kitchen, and that's perfectly okay. The solution isn't to live without Wi-Fi, it's to move it away from where you spend the most time. Consider putting your router in a utility closet, a hallway shelf, or even a bedroom where you don't linger during the day. You can also use wired Ethernet connections when possible, or even set a schedule to automatically turn off Wi-Fi at night using your router settings. That one change alone can reduce your daily exposure by more than 70% while still keeping all your devices connected. And here's the bottom line, friends. None of this is about fear, it's about empowerment, about understanding how your environment, especially your kitchen, the heart of your daily health, can either support your wellness or silently chip away at it. We're not talking about dramatic, life-threatening levels of radiation here. We're talking about the cumulative effect, the constant buzz your body feels from low-level exposure, day in and day out, especially when you're over 60 and your natural recovery processes slow down. But here's the good news, every small change you make adds up. When you move your microwave 2 feet away while it runs, when you unplug that cordless phone base and move it into the laundry room, when you replace your Bluetooth speaker with a wired one, or simply turn it off when not in use, when you swap your electric can opener for a sturdy manual one, when you disable the smart features on your fridge, and when you move your Wi-Fi router out of your kitchen, you're not just reducing radiation. You're sending your body a message: I care about your health. I'm protecting you. And your body listens. You may notice you sleep more deeply, that your thinking feels clearer, that your energy in the afternoons lasts longer. These aren't miracles. They're the result of your cells working without disruption, of your nervous system finally getting some peace and quiet. So here's what I'd love for you to do right now. Walk into your kitchen, take a slow look around. Ask yourself, which of these 6 changes can I make today? You don't have to do everything at once. Just one step forward, just one small shift. Because protecting your health after 60 is not about grand gestures, it's about consistent care. And if any of this made you pause or think differently about your kitchen space, share your thoughts in the comments. Tell us which kitchen item surprised you most, because your story might help another senior take a life-changing step. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a like. It helps others find this important information. And make sure you subscribe for more empowering tips designed especially for people who want to thrive at 60, 70, 80 and beyond. You're not powerless, you're not stuck. You have the wisdom of years and the strength of intention, and every small action you take in your own kitchen adds up to something powerful: longer health, more clarity, deeper rest, and a life that feels lighter every single day. Here's to living your best life right from the heart of your home.